Hi, it is Quilty Mom, and today I have something different. This is for anyone that wants to learn how to make a quilt. In the first video, this is going to be a series of videos. The first video is going to go over what you need and the advantages and disadvantages of using cheaper and more expensive stuff. This is also for anyone that is an experienced quilter and wants to make a quilt alongside with us. I just think that would be great fun. Now, I am including my email address up above, so you can send me any questions, but I also would love to see anyone that is participating in this. I'd love to see your quilts. And, I'm very excited with this. I've got a couple of my girls doing this with me, so that would be great. I want to go over the items that you need first. So that's what this first video is going to be all about. So on Wednesdays in the afternoon, I'm going to post each stage of the quilt we'll be making. So look for that video on Wednesday. So I'm giving you a few days to go get your supplies. And like I said, this is for the experienced and the beginner quilt. So we're going to be making this quilt right here. It's cute as can be. It's a little lap size quilt. And the great thing is, if you don't want just a lap size, you can make this bigger. You just double up the fabric. It's as easy as that. So I wanted to pick something super easy. Alright, so we're going to go over the things that you're going to need. So the first thing you're going to want to need before you make a quilt, you're going to, and before you listen to this video more, you're going to want to get a notebook and a pen. And you're going to want to write everything down. So the first thing you absolutely have to have is a sewing machine. And the advantages and disadvantages of owning a cheaper, more expensive one. I'll tell you right now, unless you're going to be doing this a lot, that you could just start off with like a really simple machine, maybe pay $100 for it, or even less if you get it at a secondhand shop or yard sale. You don't need the big expensive machine unless you are doing this as much as I am. I make several quilts a year and other items, and I sell them too. So that was the only reason that I have a big expensive Husqvarna, and it was also the third machine that I purchased. I did start off with, I think it was a Singer I got at Walmart for $100, and that was a really great learner machine. I used that one to death, and it was really wonderful learning how to do that. It was simple to use, and it was great. It did everything I needed. I do have the bigger machine only because, like I said, I grew out of stuff after so many years. I got better. I wanted more features. And now I have, a big extended table too. So that's a lot of fun for me. But it is not a necessary item. So after your sewing machine, you will need extra needles. I highly recommend it because needles tend to break right when you're in the middle of a nice big long row and, you've got a good rhythm going. So depending on your machine, they're, $1 to $5 depending. But yeah, I always recommend having extra needles around. All right, you're going to need some pins. And, you can put them in a pen holder or whatever. I have lots and lots of pins. And they're wonderful. I forgot to pull that out. Oh, I have to do some. Oh, here we go. I did forget to. I have this, I would recommend having this too. It's a magnet, so when and if, I should say just when, you drop them on the floor, you just, run the magnet, and, yeah, and I drop them on the floor a lot. So, you're going to need a seam ripper. I don't really see, I got my freaking too many advantages or disadvantages over opening, having different priced ones. I know there's some that are actually like just pretty. I have several of these and I lose them on a regular basis, so I do have a Ginger one. This one came with my scissors, and it's got a nice little razor edge. That one's a nice one. I lose a lot of them. You need scissors. Now, I have these beautiful, very loved Gingers. They are pricey, and I don't think everyone needs them. But if you're going to do a lot of sewing and quilting, then absolutely just buy the Gingers or another quality brand, because you're gonna use a lot of scissors. But one of the there is a brand, Fiskars. They put out good scissors. They're good for, you know, the person that makes 1 or 2 quilts a year, that does just a little bit of sewing, and they're very moderately priced. They're like $15 for a good pair. I would recommend those if you are not ready to move up to this yet. These are about $50. It's been a couple of years since I bought them. I have 2 or 3 pairs laying around, and usually I get these as gifts. So they're just really special to me. I absolutely love them. You are going to need a rotary cutter. So this is an Olfa. I have several rotary cutters too. You definitely want to get the 45 millimeter to start. And this one's just easy to use, the Splash. I do have different sizes. This is for if I go through a lot of fabric. I have little teeny ones, all kinds of sizes. This one just is the easiest to use. Fiskars does make a rotary blade too, and that's a good one for starting out. But you know, honestly, I think the Olfa is just an easy one to use, and the blades are always sharp. It's just a really good one to have, so I would like it very much. I do have a Ginger, and the blades were really expensive, and it just wasn't that easy to use, but it's a nice little special thing that I have, so I like that. So you do need a rotary blade. Like I said, this is the Olfa Splash. I like this one very much. I usually use them until, you know, they're falling apart. This one, the blades, especially love, change in very well. So you are going to need a ruler. Now, if you're going to do a lot of quilts, you're definitely going to need a couple of rulers, but start off with just one. This is a 12.5 one. It's got very easy to read numbers on there with the black, and I absolutely adore this one. I'm trying to Easy Rule 2 by Sharon Holdgreen. I got it at Joann's, and this is a really good one for being, you can see it's just been loved to death. Yeah, very easy to see numbers and the black markings. I do have this longer one, which is great when I have bigger pieces. It's a Fiskars. It's not as easy to see the numbers. It's a nice one, but I prefer the one with the black numbers, and it's incredibly easy to see when I'm doing a lot of squares. I don't make as many mistakes. All right, you need a cutting mat. And I'm going to show you the one I have right here. This one is by Elon. I got it at a quilt shop. I did start off with a Fiskars, and then I had an Olfa. They're all very nice. This one is just thicker and nicer. They're all great. You want a self-healing one and something that can take a beating. But yeah, start off with what you can afford and what you're comfortable with. You know, if you really get into it, you can always, you know, move on. But one thing I did notice about my Fiskars and my Olfa, they did eventually rip, but I moved a lot, and they, you know, just couldn't take the move with me. They got warped or out of shape, which this one didn't, because it was really a nice thick one. All right, you're going to need fabric. So for this quilt, we're going to do a jelly roll. Now, a jelly roll, there's all kinds of jelly rolls, and they go by different names from different companies, but they're all kind of the same thing. It's just, like I said, they're 40 strips of 2.5 wide fabric. Now mine, I got a few years ago at a quilt show, and the packaging fell apart recently. So you're going to want to get a jelly roll with coordinating colors that you love, and just, pick something that you think is really fun and that's going to inspire you to make a fun and gorgeous quilt. This is really lovely. So a jelly roll is usually in the shape of a circle. This one came in a flat package, but if you go to Joann or any sewing place and you ask for a jelly roll, they will know what you mean, even if it comes in a flat package. Now, there are advantages and disadvantages of using cheaper and more expensive fabric, and I would love to let you know what it is. First, you have to go by your budget. But if you have a little bit extra budget, spend the money on the fabric. Now, one thing about Walmart fabric, it's great for the budget, but you can hold it up and you can see through it. It's very threadbare. And I've seen quilts, that have been washed repeatedly with Joann fabric. They fade pretty quickly, and they literally start to you can see right through them. You know what I mean? They just disintegrate over a shorter amount of time. When you get Joann fabric, I do have a piece I don't have any Walmart fabric on me. Joann fabric. So this is Joann fabric. It's a little harder to see through. This is kind of middle road, but you can still see through it a little bit. But it will last longer. The one thing that is good about Joann is that they have coupons, and they're really easy to get a lot of coupons. You download the app, you sign up in store for mailer ones, and you can even get email. Their prices have gone up dramatically in the last few years, and their regular prices without coupons are ridiculous, in my opinion. I am just stunned at what they're charging for some stuff that I bought just a few years ago. I don't get, I think they just got so overwhelmed with coupons that they just started charging these ridiculous amounts. Now, I noticed that Walmart is starting to sell some of the stuff from the better brands from Joann, as far as they're starting to sell the batting, and I do believe they have Olfa blades now too. Now, you also are going to need thread. When you're making a quilt, I honestly will tell you to use 100% pure cotton thread. When you're doing a quilt, unless it's like a wall quilt or something like that, where I tend to get a little more creative, you want to use everything 100% cotton. And, some people do have their preferences, and if you want to use something else, go ahead. But I find, cotton is just, the best thing for quilts. It's soft, it wears, it tears, it moves, it's just a wonderful thing. But the great thing about making a quilt is you can use anything. Oh, I did forget to go. The advantages of using the quilt store fabric. Do you see the richness of color? Now you hold that up and you can barely see through the fabric. It's wonderful. And you can just tell by the feel against the skin. It's so nice and it's so comfortable. Now that is one thing too that you will notice a difference of, especially if a quilt is going to be up against your skin. It's a softness thing. So of course the quilt shop quality is going to feel the best up against your skin, but I especially like it because of the wear, of course. But I just love the rich, beautiful colors that they have in a quilt shop. You can just tell the difference. Now, when I'm making wall quilts or placemats or something like that, I don't have a problem with using Joann or Walmart fabrics then, just because they don't get washed as much. And, you know, you've got some leeway there. So there are, you know, some things where, you know, you've got some more leeway with the fabric where you can get away with the cheaper stuff. All right, so we've gone over thread. So I tend to buy this stuff. I forgot the dang name of this. This is a really good one to buy. They have it at Walmart now for $5. So you want a neutral color. So white, gray, ecru, tan, anything like that. Just, you know, place it up against your fabric when you're piecing. You know, as long as you have a color that, you know, like red is obviously going to show through. Okay. You're going to need an iron. Now, I do have a big, heavy Rowenta. You want something that puts out really good steam and can get really hot. One thing I do have that I got at a quilt shop a few years ago was this very tiny little thing that I got. It was like $25. I understand that they have this at Joann and Hobby Lobby for $25 to $30. It's a steam fest. This thing gets really hot, and it's good for small piecing. You know, it's wonderful. And you put the water in there, and it's light on your hands. I don't use it when I've got huge pieces of fabric, but when I do the small ones, I do, just because of the arthritis in my hands. It's so much easier. You're going to need an ironing board or an ironing mat. Right now, my ironing board went kaput, and I just have an ironing mat, and that's just fine by me. And I got it off of Amazon for like $8. I like it very much. Okay, so I think we've gone over everything we need. So also with your jelly roll, you're going to need 1 yard of coordinating fabric. I'll show you. I had fun with it. Woo! Like, how fun is this? Just something bright and something that pops, you know? Really have fun with your colors. You know, I always wear gray. I know it's like I'm a very boring person. I always wear gray and black or whatever. But when I'm making my quilts, I really like something that just is so exciting. So I hope you join me for this series of quilting. Please email me if you have any questions. And I really hope that you join us in this fun. I am willing to guide anyone along this way. Anyone can do it. Oh, I do have one last thing. Oh, hold on. Let me look through my thing that I would recommend. Shoot. I know, I've like misplaced everything. Hold on. Okay, misplaced it. It's this little glow tape. You can get it at Joann. That I misplaced it, but it's like this neon colored thin tape that you place on your rollers. Well, I'll show you an example. This roller has a piece of the glow tape on there. See that? This stuff is really wonderful, and it's super cheap. Nice thing about this is that it doesn't leave a sticky residue behind. Fabulous. And I forget the brand name of it. I got a 3-pack, and it's lasted me for years. It's wonderful. You just put it on there all the time. And that way, when you go to cut certain things, you don't get mixed up. You know, if you make something like 6 inches, you put your tape on there. Next time you lay your ruler down, you know, you're not doing 6.5 or whatever, because it's a really easy thing to do. So I love you guys. Thank you. And I'm excited. Let me know if you're going to join us. Bye-bye.